That's right. You'll wish that you bought Google at 95 and then bought them again at 90. There's a gap right about 94.50 and another one around 89.50, and Google will fill that gap. Why is this happening? In one word, Microsoft. Microsoft is making Google go down. Google is down, 12% in the last 7 days. In the same 7 days, Microsoft is up about 6%. And this is because of ChatGPT. Google has basically said they don't have it just yet, but they'll have it soon. Microsoft says that by the end of March, they'll have Bing supplied with ChatGPT, and your whole search experience is going to change. And as a result of that, all the advertisers are going to move to Microsoft. Let's talk more about that.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
For 3 years now, I've preached that the way to make money in the stock market is to recognize undervalued assets before the market recognize what they're going to do, and to get in on that early. And that's why I own a lot of genome sequencing, genome editing stocks. But what we've got going on here is another major change, and that is the adoption of artificial intelligence and integrating it into a part of our most used websites on the market, and that is Google search. And what Microsoft has basically said is we're going to trump Google search, and we're going to give the consumer a more active and integrated experience through the use of OpenAI. They went out and invested $1 billion in OpenAI, and now they've upped it to $10 billion, and they say in the next couple of months they're going to make that a part of Bing search. And as a result, there is a pullback from Google. Is that legitimate? Well, I think for a temporary basis, but I also recognize that Google is probably way ahead of the rest of the world in AI, and it's through a division of Google called OpenMind. It's an English company, and they have led the drive in AI for years. You might remember they put out a program that basically said and has proven it can beat the best chess players at chess through its general learning. It's also shown that it can fly a F-15 fighter jet better than any human being through its ability to learn. So I am confident that Google will come back. Now, I also want you to remember the chart that I have shown you many times, and this is a tracking of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, NVIDIA, and Facebook. And you have seen that they have had periods where there was a pullback, but they always come back, and they end up showing us an average rate of return of a low of 25% a year and a high of about 35% a year. So I am confident that, number one, Google will probably go down and fill the gap that it has about 89.50. And then it will find a bottom. I bought 230 shares of Google in the last 2 days. I'll probably buy another 100 when it goes down below 90 a share, because I know Google is a part of my future. I also know that Microsoft is a part of my future. I've been unable to buy Microsoft because it hasn't come down to the gaps that I want it to fill. I'm confident it will, and I will, as I have in the past, work to the position where I have over 50% of my portfolio in these 6 stocks. Will get back into Meta at some point. I think Meta has a little further path to travel, and some of the attention will go away from Meta as a result of what Microsoft is doing. I also bought Activision yesterday in its deep dive, and am up a little bit again today. So my message today is that change is what you want to watch and watch for. The big changes that you're going to see in the coming 3 to 5 years is, again, more of OpenAI. What you've seen so far is just the beginning. I hope you have seen some of the DALL-E software and some of the others that can create pictures for you. You just write a description of what you want to see, and it can create a picture. This is the early stages where AI is eventually going to land, and I would really be aware that Google and Apple are going to show up in this is in the medical field. These are the people who put the watches on your arm and have been tracking your body in my case, for the last 5 years. And they are going to, much as OpenAI can write me a book if I wanted to, Apple and Google will save my life. Because they have a history now of what's gone on in Carrie's body, at least Google does, through Fitbit, for the last 5 years. And so if there is any change, they'll be able to answer it. They will be able to feed data to my doctor, and he will make his diagnosis not only based on what his knowledge of me and his knowledge of medicine, but as a result of OpenAI, he'll make a diagnosis based on all the medicine knowledge in the world relative to Carrie's body. He'll also be able to look at Carrie's DNA and find out what the past history of his ancestry is to give more insight. No, what is happening with Microsoft and OpenAI is just a crack in the door of what's going to happen in the future. And I would say to you, look at my chart again, and you will see these 6 stocks regularly present you a gift. And that gift is a downturn. And Google has given you a 12% downturn just in the last 7 days. I encourage you to take advantage of it. Do not try to catch the falling knife. Do not try to predict the bottom. Recognize what Google is presenting you for what it is. An opportunity to buy into one of the 6 best companies in the world at a discounted price, and take advantage of it and feed on it and be happy 3 years from now that you did what Carrie told you to do. Buy Google and hang in there and buy Microsoft and hang in there and buy Facebook, Meta platforms. These are the companies that are going to take this 40 years of knowledge, of data. Actually, it's beyond 40 years because Google has basically digitized 90% of the books that are in your library. So all that knowledge is there. They're just now going to make it available to you through different methods of delivery. Okay, that's my take for you. Have a good investment career because the opportunities are going to be coming fast and furious right now. Talk to you again tomorrow.